In The Force Awakens, during the scene where Kylo Ren interrogates Rey, she in fact turns the tables on him and says,
You're afraid that you will never be as strong as Darth Vader.
Only using these words, she manages to startle him so much that he withdraws his hand and leaves the room. Now, previously we saw that she in fact knows who Luke Skywalker is when Finn mentions that BB-8 has a map that leads to Luke Skywalker. But in this case, how did she know how strong Darth Vader is, or does she even know who is Darth Vader? Well, according to the book The Force Awakens, Rey's story, during the interrogation while Rey was reading Ren's mind, all the info she has on Darth Vader is what Kylo Ren thinks and feels about him, and there is no indication that Rey knew who Darth Vader was at that time. In the book, it says, "This time Rey met his eyes. She pushed back against his probing thoughts harder and harder until the pain in her head suddenly disappeared. A flash of surprise crossed Kylo's face and Rey pressed her advantage. She reached out with her mind, entering his thoughts." In The Force Awakens junior novelization, it strongly suggested that Rey did see Darth Vader briefly during the visions she had in the basement of Maz's castle and again in Ren's mind, but again no evidence that she recognized him as Darth Vader. She turned his tendrils back at him. His feelings and memories were easy to read. His mind was a turbulent ocean of fear. You're afraid that you will never be as strong as... She hesitated. An image of another man in a black cloak and mask dominated the maelstrom. A silhouette she had seen in the vision below Maz's castle. He had a name: Darth Vader. And in the official film script, we get similar information just as the other sources I just mentioned. It says, "And Rey does the unthinkable. She enters his head amazed at what she is seeing. Kylo Ren suddenly withdraws his hand as if her face were fire hot, takes a step back, confused, rattled. Rey's body is released. She breathes deeply, her powerful eyes still on Kylo Ren, who starts to leave." With that being said, we also know that Rey knows who Luke Skywalker is, and since Luke and the Force are part of the Legends folklore or the myth of the Jedi in which she was raised, through these stories she learned about Luke Skywalker, meaning it's not that strange to think that Darth Vader was mentioned in one of these stories as well. So she might have some very small knowledge about Darth Vader even though she was not fully aware of it before the encounter with Kylo Ren. In the end, if we take into account all this information, we can conclude that Rey didn't really know who Darth Vader was or how powerful he was compared to Kylo Ren, but during the mind reading she did on Kylo Ren, she must have seen the same dark armored man that was part of her visions in the past and part of the stories she heard growing up, and also Ren's intense feelings towards this man made her realize that Vader was the key to strike fear into Kylo and make him doubt himself so much so that he stops the interrogation and swiftly leaves the room, giving her a chance to escape. Alright guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you liked it, don't forget to leave a thumbs up down below and subscribe if you haven't already, and don't miss out on any of my future videos that I will post on this channel. Have a fun day my friends, and in closing, don't forget, may the Force be with you always.